Hey everyone, I am Anthony Scott of ToyHypeUSA.com. Today we are reviewing the Toony Terrors Series 5 figures from NECA Toys. This wave includes Ghostface from the movie Scream, the Creep from Creepshow, Michael Myers from Halloween, and Ash from Evil Dead. I would like to thank NECA for providing these for review. Greatly appreciate that. Each figure is packaged on a blister card packaging with artwork that's consistent throughout the line, including the movie theater artwork on the front there, with the name of the line, Toony Terrors. Above that, you have the NECA logo, and you have lights and various other things on top there. Behind the figures, you have a look at inside of the theaters with posters of each character in there. It's a little hard to see as the figures and the plastic trays are in the way and everything. But if you look at the sides, you would get a pretty good look at them. So here's a look at the side for Ash, and you see him on the side there. Here's a look at the other side. And of course, the back of the packaging. You have artwork that is inspired from the classic cabin from the film. Michael Myers. There's a look at the side there. This is what I'm looking at right here. There's a knife through the poster. Hopefully you'll be able to see that on the camera there. The back is a look at the mental hospital, and you could tell by the doors as well as the bed there. The Creep from Creepshow. There's a look at the side. You see that movie poster right there. And the back of it kind of looks like a room in a castle or maybe a dungeon with skeletal remains down there. And we have Ghostface from the movie Scream. There's a look at the artwork right there. And the back gives you a look at a door with a room right there. So there's your look at the packaging. You would see that the same's consistent throughout the line, and above the figures has their names right there. You see Ghostface. You see Halloween 2 right there. The Evil Dead logo. And you have the Creepshow logo. Interestingly enough, I believe that NECA is not working on the Scream license. They're working on the license from something else, which is why you don't see the Scream movie logo right there. Instead, you're looking at his name, the Ghostface logo right there on top. So what I'm going to do now is open these up and let's take a closer look. Here's an in-hand look at the figures. Both Ash and Michael Myers include new blood deco, so these are a repaint from previously offered figures. The Creep and Ghostface are brand new for this wave. As you can see, the Creep is the only figure in the wave that comes with a figure stand, and he definitely needs it as his feet are sculpted in a way that he can't stand without it. Here's a closer look at Ash Williams, who's inspired from the actor Bruce Campbell as he appeared in Evil Dead. The figure is a cartoon likeness of him, and this is also a repaint with blood splatter, which you see on his shirt, his arm, especially his chainsaw. So you see that big blood splatter there. You even see it on his head here. Very nicely done. Up his arm. And there's nothing on the back. So he was probably using this chainsaw against the deadite, and he got a little blood splattery. The deco on this figure is really phenomenally done. Just look at those great paint apps that they applied to him. Really loving how this guy came out. Here's a closer look at the chainsaw here. You see those great paint applications on them. And of course, let's just get a closer look at that gorgeous head sculpt there. The chainsaw is not removable. However, the shotgun in the bag there is. So you can just put that right in his hand. And he's got a really good grip on it. It won't fall out too easily. Here's a closer look at it. Here's a comparison between both figures. The previously offered one comes without all that blood splatter, which you see right there. And the other difference is over at the pants here. You see how his flesh is showing. This, however, is painted red on the blood splatter figure. So here's a comparison from all the angles. You see the differences in the paint apps. Here's a comparison with Jason Voorhees. I put these two together as I'm sure you're aware that Jason Voorhees is a demon from the Book of the Dead. When Jason Voorhees died, his mother, Pamela Voorhees, used the Book of the Dead to revive her son, but it wasn't her son. She awoke a demon inside his body, and took over his body, I should say, and that's the creature that's been lurking around the swamp. Everyone thought it was Jason Voorhees, but it wasn't. So, since that fits into the same universe as Ash Williams, I thought it would be good to put these two together, which you see right here. Here's a closer look at Michael Myers. He is also a blood-splattered repaint from his previously release. This is in the dark blue overalls, which was previously offered as a Walmart exclusive. I actually have to still get my hands on the other one, the one without the blood splatter. This one, however, is offered in Wave 5 and includes the same pumpkin as previously offered. So you see the skull on the front of the pumpkin there. Very nicely done and painted. The figure itself includes some blood splatter on his front there, as well as the knife. And you also see some blood dripping down his eyes. And you also see a little bit of blood spatter on his back there as well. Here's a closer look at this head sculpt. Very nicely done. Loving how he came out. The knife is removable from his hand and just slides down as shown. And you can also position it like this if you choose. So you have the option how you want to display it. Here's a comparison of the very first Michael Myers figures in the lighter blue. The difference between the two figures here are in the paint apps. And as you can see, the hand can swivel, so you have the option to point the knife down or a little bit to the side here. So there's a look there. Turning these around. Here's the difference between the two figures. You also see on the mask here the difference. The new one has the blood splatter coming down his eyes, and the first release does not. Here's a closer look at the Creeper. He is a new character in the Toony Terrors line, and he is part of Wave 5. As you can see, he is the only figure in the wave that comes with a figure stand, and he requires it to help him to stand. Unfortunately, he stands on an angle like this, and I couldn't find any other way to get him to pose. While both his feet have the holes at the bottom for the peg on the stand, only this left foot here is really the only option. So let me just demonstrate for you. Try to get it in this foot here. It doesn't really stay on. The other foot, however, so that's really the only option. There's also no articulation in his legs, so trying to get him to stand up straighter is also really not an option. As you can see, he kind of stands on a slant like that. I think that's the only disappointing thing about this figure, because it is a really good likeness, a really good sculpt. I'm very happy with it. As you can see, the arms swivel like this. So, as I was saying, here's a look at the arms. You see how these are sculpted. And this arm here, this can be raised and lowered. So there's multiple different ways for him to hold the lantern there. The other hand, however, can't hold the lantern, as the fingers are sculpted shut, which you see there. The overall detail on him is really, really good. Loving the sculpt. It's definitely a great character to add to this collection. Here's a comparison of him with Victor Crowley, who's from Hatchet, and he was offered in the last wave. And there's your comparison from the back. Up next is Ghostface, and just like the nun, he is sculpted in this running pose, which you see here. So the bottom of him is going to look like that. He doesn't require a stand or anything. And there's a look at the other side. And of course, there's a back. His boots are painted in a light brown. Very nicely done. This is a smooth sculpt, which you see here, with some very nice detail along the bottom, just as you remember from the film. He also includes a knife, which he can hold. And since the arm is also on a swivel joint, you can raise it down, and he can hold the knife like that. Other points of articulation includes a swivel head, and this arm here is also on a swivel joint. Here's a comparison of Ghostface and the nun, since they're sculpted in a very similar way, running after their victim. I decided to compare these two. So there's a look at the side. What I like about how these are sculpted, these are harder to fall over compared to some of the other figures in the Toony Terrors line, since they have that nice base on the bottom there. And here's another look at the front. Overall, this is a great wave of Toony Terror figures. Loving the new blood-splattered paint apps on both Ash and Michael Myers. Very nicely done. Getting the Creep and Ghostface in this line, long overdue. Very happy to see these characters added. Overall, I think you guys are going to love these figures. Go out and buy them while you can. These are available now in stores. And if you buy them online, please use our sponsored links, which are on the written portion and the photo gallery of this review. So if you're on the YouTube description, just click the link and go to the article and look for a purchase at the bottom. Thank you again to NECA Toys for providing these for review. Greatly appreciated. I am Anthony Scott of ToyHypeUSA.com. Thank you so much for watching, and please like this video as it tells YouTube to share it with more people. Thanks again, and stay tuned for more coverage.